what we're going to do is do something a little different. Now, this is probably going to be an insult to such a great and wonderful way to make pork chops. The only thing is, though, you might degrade yourself by adding hot dogs to this dish, but just concentrate that this is just a side dish, nothing more than that. It's not supposed to be an insult to injury or in any way, shape, or form of a truly wonderful product. And I'm going to show you what that one is in just a moment. But right now, let me prepare the hot dogs and get you started.
Bloop. Bloop.
Sound effects provided by Wolf Dog.
Bloop, 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 bloop. No, it's making its own sound effects.
Yeah, Wolf Dog's just enhancing them.
I'm just, yeah.
In the sink, we have several pork chops. Pork chop sirloins right there. We have 9 of them, so we have plenty to go around. And it's just the 2 of us here. This is what I like about just cooking for 2 people, because there usually might be leftovers.
Oh, well, we know that there's going to be leftovers.
Yes. Now, while we're waiting for those pork chops to thaw, which they pretty much have thawed, they're just now sitting in water, we're going to take some tin foil, nice big sheet of foil, and we're going to prepare our baking sheet by covering with the foil. Make sure you get it sealed all the way around. And the heavy duty kind will make sure that you go all the way around your baking sheet and have plenty of room to tuck that in. So that way, all that you cook comes off in one pull. Great. Set that down. Now, one at a time, I'm going to bring our baking sheet over. One at a time, we're going to put our pork chops into the baking sheet. Separating maybe about an inch apart. You got plenty of room to work with because we only have 9. So you can separate these as evenly as you want. Shake off all that excess water too, because you got plenty of juices. That one's a little tiny guy.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't quite have enough to make it a full, even amount of pounds of sirloins. Pork loins, I should say. Pork loins. Sirloin, that's steak. That's a good steak too, sirloin. Ooh. But by any means, take all of your pork chops. I have a little extra water there, shake that out there. Take all your pork chops, and even if there's a little bit of water, that's fine. That is fine. It's going to be nice and juicy and succulent anyway. And once you've done that, go ahead and preheat your oven to 300 and about 325. Right about there. 325, why? Because we're dealing with pork. It doesn't take that long to cook pork. All you need to remember is to keep a steady eye on pork, because pork can burn easily, and when it burns it gets too dry and it gets very difficult to eat, and who wants to eat dry pork chops? Not me. So, put our foil away. That is the last time we're going to be using our foil. And I would like to point out, too, that today's episode of Cooking with SonicBlu has been made possible by Randy Combs, who is the owner and proprietor and sole presidente of the Spicey Rooster Barbecue Company. And there it is. He makes some wonderful sauces, and you should really check him out at spicyrooster.com. And there's the address right down there. Now, first thing first, we're going to take some of this special blend that he has prepared, and we are going to shake it over the tops of our pork chops. So to get this a nice, and it's a rub too, so you could either use it as sort of a way to enhance the flavor of your barbecue, or you can use it as an all-over rub. In fact, why don't we do it as a rub? Why don't we do it as a rub, and that way we can cover. But that's the way my almost blackened pork chops, and we already did that recipe before.
I'd probably say do it the
Just do it the traditional spread over the top way.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
I think we'd just be better off.
But you can use this as a rub, and when you use it as a rub, you take a pair of tongs and you set a number of the spice or the seasoning onto the plate, and you just kind of use the tongs to cover the pork chops completely in the rub. But this time we're just using it to go over the top of our pork chops. And we're doing this in the earliest stage possible, mainly because when we cook our pork chops, the flavor of the seasoning is going to seep right into the meat, and it's going to get mixed up with the juices too. So don't be afraid to knock a little off the side because it's going to be picked up by the juices and it's going to cook right into your meats as it cooks. Just cover the tops of them like this, pretty generously too. Don't be afraid to use this stuff. There we go. Now, I would also like to point out that Randy does make this stuff in-house. So every single package that you get of this seasoning is all handmade by Randy Combs. So, now that our dishes are covered, our pork chops are covered with that seasoning, and it looks good so far, but we're not even close to being finished. We're still waiting for that oven to preheat. We're still waiting for our water to boil. But let me also show you the product that we're going to be using for our barbecue sauce. That's just the seasoning. But we're also going to be adding some bourbon BBQ sauce, which actually has real whiskey bourbon in it. But you don't have to worry about whether or not this is going to be safe for the kids. Of course it is. All you're going to taste is the flavor. And you won't even taste like whiskey here. It's going to basically enhance the flavor and make it taste more southern. And this is what bourbon barbecue sauce is. If you ever get Jack Daniels or Jim Beam barbecue sauces, or even Budweiser, they use some booze in there too, but they cook it out. They cook out the alcohol so that way it's safe for everybody to use. And all you're really going after is flavor. Ooh, that is nice smelling too. Now, if you're curious about where to pick up Spicey Rooster sauces, you can go to that website I showed you. Here's the address again, and see what else there's other sauces that might tickle your fancy. Some things are spicy, some things are not spicy, and some things are really spicy.
Yeah, like we've tried during our the last show that we did when we
in an
first
earlier
debuted
episode of
those.
Pawpets, we actually tested out every single sauce, plus some of the hottest bratwursts that they have to offer. And we tested it all out, and not needless to say, it did kick our butts. But some people like it that spicy. If you don't really like spicy, don't worry. He has something for everyone. And that's the beauty part about Spicey Rooster products, is he has something for everyone to enjoy. Maybe you don't like spices, so get yourself some of the more tamer sauces like this bourbon barbecue sauce, or some of the seasoning here. Or you can even get some of the steak sauce he makes, and it has a hint of raspberry in it. And it's really, really sweet. So, that's a little plug for Randy Combs and the Spicey Rooster Barbecue Company. And this episode is going to show exactly how exquisite your meal can be by using some of his products. And we're going to be using them tonight and testing it out, not only for the first time here, actually using this sauce, not just for a dipping sauce, not just for sampling, but actually using it into a full-blown meal. So we are going to test that. We're going to test how good it's going to taste, and if you actually get just a regular run-of-the-mill barbecue sauce, throw it away. Get this stuff instead. Why? Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into, but you want to. You want to get into this. This is some dynamite stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, this is some really dynamite stuff, and I am a connoisseur of barbecue food. After all, I come from the Southwest, and Southwest barbecue food is king over there. But I'm going to see how well this sauce is and whether or not to further endorse this product. And if it's as anything as, say, Chef Paul Prudhomme is, I'm sold. But I don't know. I mean, even the best thing in the world can never tear me away from my idol, Chef Paul Prudhomme. But nothing offensive on that one. Chef Paul is the bomb. I love Chef Paul's seasonings, but if this guy's seasonings is any better, then I will have to like both of them then, won't I? I'm still gonna love Paul Prudhomme. That's the given, okay? I'm gonna still admire Chef Paul Prudhomme for all the seasonings that he comes out with because they are exquisite. We're gonna see how well Randy Combs can. Now we got our oven preheated to the desired temperature, and look at the water there mixing in with the seasoning there to form its own juices. Look at that. And that is just part of it. So slide this in to the oven at 325 degrees Fahrenheit and let it cook for about 20 minutes. Why 20 minutes? Well, we are going to allow this to cook up and get it really well cooked, get the seasonings all nice and baked in there. And you want to make sure that you don't put any barbecue sauce until you know that seasoning is baked in there really good. And then we're going to take some of this barbecue sauce and using a silicone pastry brush, we're going to brush some barbecue sauce over the top of it. and maybe even underneath too, because let's face it, you gotta have that stuff all over, and I love barbecue sauce. So we'll show you what to do when that point comes. But right now, what do you say we prepare our mac and cheese? Truly awesome, huh? Well, there's two things we're going to be testing out today. Just how awesome is this mac and cheese, and how truly wonderful the SpiceyRooster.com sauces can truly be too. And I know Randy Combs' concoctions and creations will go very well with this meal. That I do know because I have sampled it, but I have never, ever tasted truly awesome mac and cheese. So hopefully it'll be an awesome addition to an already awesome meal that we are making out of products made exclusively by the Spicey Rooster Barbecue Company. So what I like to do too is I like to combine both boxes of mac into one. I don't know why, it's just gives you more space to work with, although now it's filled to the brim, so you don't want to set this too close to the edge, because then you'll have macaroni all over the floor, and that's never fun. So while we have some time, let's take a look in the back here. Introducing a true family favorite, our truly awesome mac and cheese is loaded with the delicious cheesy taste kids love. You can feel great about sharing it with your family since it's made from real cheese and contains whole grains, also in high in calcium and iron used plant-based coloring. The entire family will enjoy this cheesy side to complement any dinner. Add chicken to your family's favorite protein to turn this into a main course, or mix your favorite yellow cheese for extra cheesiness, and that's what we're going to do. And it makes a perfect lunchbox side. Lunchbox? What?
How does it make a lunchbox side?
Mom, when you said you were going to pack macaroni and cheese, I didn't think you were going to expect me to cook it while I was there.
Pre-cook it?
Who in the world takes mac and cheese to school with them in their lunch? You can't heat that up. And have you ever had cold macaroni and cheese salad, macaroni salad? I've had cold macaroni salad and it's okay. But kids are used to eating macaroni and cheese. How are you going to take that to school? Are they going to let you use their microwave or something? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. So we're getting close to a boil now, so we're just going to dump our noodles in. And there it goes, right into that water. Now, using a spoon, we're going to give this a little stir, just to get it going. And we're going to leave this boiling for approximately 5 to 10 minutes, or until the noodles have enlarged. Yeah, I brought the baby girl out. See, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Hi. She might be a little drowsy. Yeah.
She's sleepy.
She's a bit sleepy. Yeah, she just wanted to cuddle up with Daddy, but Daddy has work to do. Then after dinner we can cuddle all you want to. Yeah, she's very cuddly. We are going to carefully remove and make sure your bearded dragon, if you cook with your bearded dragon in the kitchen, make sure she doesn't go into the oven. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? Wow. Wow. Now look at all that excess juices. Now, when you add that barbecue sauce, having that juice in there is just going to turn that barbecue sauce into a very watery type of barbecue sauce. And even though those juices do look tantalizing, we're still going to dump them down into the sink. And make sure your pork chops don't go with it. Your pork chops will also shrink. That's normal, because it is a pork product after all. As a matter of fact, while I'm brushing them, why don't I close the door? There we go. Now, we're going to take some of this good bourbon barbecue sauce, and we're going to just drizzle a little bit over the top of this, and then what we're going to do is brush it right on over. Just tap it until it's all covered on the top there and on the sides. And what we're also going to do is we're going to lift this up and do the bottoms. Now look at the bottoms of those. Those are going to be pretty dry if you don't do the bottoms of these too. So we're going to turn these over. So that way all the barbecue sauce from the top. And you can actually do this in any order you want to too. You can do it on the bottoms first and flip them back over and then do the tops, or you can do the tops first, then the bottoms, and then flip them back over again. And you don't even need to re-add any seasoning to it, because as we did before, we put plenty of seasoning on the tops of these, so all you really need to do is season the top. So we're only going to cook this for a short while, just to get the sauces to kind of caramelize onto the meats.
How long would you say they need to
We're
go
going to
back
be
in?
going back into the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until the consistency of your liking. Some people like an extra dose. And if you like an extra dose, then brush a second time and pop it in for another 5 to 7 minutes if you like it extra saucy. So now we're going to set this brush aside in case we actually do reach that point. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter to our macaroni and cheese here. Add the milk as according to the box's instructions. Sometimes you like a little extra, sometimes not. Depends, but I for one do not like dry mac and cheese. Yeah, she's gaping.
Yeah, she's smiling again.
Hi, Bowsy. Are you helping Daddy in the kitchen again?
She just has that. He just has like. She had that little smile on her. She's like, hi. And
hi.
Sweetie. That was funny. She's just all gaping right there. She's like, ah. It's funny watching her head moving around as you're
kind of tilting her head a little this way and that way.
Yeah, she's just like, ugh.
Yeah, we're going to stir all that powdered cheese into mac and cheese using the milk to help dissolve it. And then, finally, add your butter. That's the last step in making mac and cheese. Basic way, at least. Add the butter last, and then rely on the heat to melt the butter in. Now, if the butter isn't melting, then you can always nuke this. You can always nuke this for about 15 seconds and heat this back up again so that that butter will melt. And then what that butter is going to do is it's going to help make everything nice and creamy. Let's check on our pork chops now. See how far along we are on Pork Chopville. They look nice. They look nice. Not quite done. Not quite the way I like them. We're just going to leave them in there for a little bit more. But if you want to add a little more barbecue sauce to the top of that when it gets to this point, because I know it's that and that and that, a little bit dry on the top, so feel free to add just a touch more on the top. And keep the sauce going, keep it consistent. For this, I'm just going to add it right to the top of the brush here. Just brush it on like that. Give it a nice glaze over. Just pour it right there on the brush like that, and just go over right onto your pork chop. Follow through with however many pork chops you have. This ensures that you don't put on too much this time, because you don't really need that much this time, because they're already covered with great flavored barbecue sauce. All you're doing is just adding a little extra to make it saucy. And I love saucy barbecue products. I love the sauce. So don't skimp on the sauce. That's what I always say whenever I order something that requires some sauce. So don't skimp on the sauce, because I love it that way. I also say, I'm a saucy kind of guy. This is why. Back into the oven for another 5 minutes, and we will have barbecued pork chops. Yes,
and Belzy looks like she's having fun on your back.
Yeah, I feel her hand kind of holding onto my hair.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen what she did earlier. She climbed
up on my face.
That was funny.
And then when she got to the top of my head, she's like,
it's like
she accomplished something.
It was funny.
Silly girl. What am I going to do with you, baby? While that's still pretty warm, we're going to go ahead and put cheese on the top of our mac and cheese. And if you want to, stir that in as well if you want. An extra cheesiness. Just take a little handful here. Just go over the top of it like this and just sprinkle it all over. And then use your spoon to stir that in. Make sure it gets all over in there. There you go. Now we're talking awesome mac and cheese. Just stir that cheese right in there, and if you notice that it's not melting the way you'd like, that's what the microwave is for. Okay, we're going to nuke this bowl for about, well, maybe not even 20 seconds. Maybe it just only needs 15. Doesn't take much to heat up mac and cheese, I guess, because that is 2 boxes full. Another 15 seconds. Get it to heat back up again. Okay, back into the oven here for another peek. And ooh, I don't know. I can't wait. Can you?
Nope.
I can't either. So let's call this done. Now, some of you might also like a nice charring on the top of it, and if you're that type of person, add a lot more barbecue sauce and leave it in there for about 7 to 10 minutes at 350 to 375 degrees. Kind of gauge the temperature a bit. You don't want to overcook those, but if you want a nice charring on the top of it, that's what you do. But that is pretty much ready. Let's get this dished up because I am hungry. I want to see what this stuff is like, and I can't wait any longer. Let's go ahead and lift a couple of these bad boys on over. And how many do you want to start off with? 2?
Yeah, 2 for now.
2 for now and 2 for later.
Knowing
There's
me,
9.
I can probably... Well, I can go through pork chops usually pretty quick.
Get you some of this stuff here. Some of this awesome mac and cheese. And one more spoonful should do her. There you go. Okay, there's that. And shall we do the switcheroo? Let's do the switcheroo. Okay, now that didn't take long now, did it?
No, it didn't.
Well then.
Can we get an issue, John?
Now that didn't take very long, did it?
No, it didn't.
First of all, tell everybody what you're smelling, the aroma.
Oh, it's, you can definitely smell the rub, or the seasoning. You can also smell the barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm. Can you, are you able to pick out any type of ingredients that the sauce or the seasonings are made from?
Not that I can think of.
It's like one solid flavor, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what's the beauty part about the seasoning, because it's all one solid flavor. You can't really depict anything because it's no different about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel free to give your honest most opinion, and don't lie.
I haven't lied yet.
No, you haven't. No. Let's be
Uh-huh.
honest there. No, you haven't lied yet. Okay.
You can't say that I haven't lied yet.
Okay, so here we go. Barbecue pork chops.
Oh, that is really good.
Is that really?
Actually, from the spices, it actually gives you, you actually have a little spicy kick to it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So there's a
you-
little bit of spice there, but not too much to where it's overwhelming.
Yeah. But you can tell there is a spicy kick to it.
I must admit, that is a very tasty sauce. Yeah, I'm tasting the sauce. I'm tasting pepper and cayenne pepper. It's a little sweet, like you had a brown sugar to it.
Yeah, but you can tell there's a little bit of a spice kick to it, though, too.
The spice usually comes from the cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a lot spicier than regular crushed pepper.
But it's really good, though.
Fantastic. Let's try some with the, there's a big,
Yeah.
generous portion of seasoning on this one here, so let me try this one. Okay. I taste a lot of brown sugar. There's the cayenne. Taste a lot of cayenne pepper. Might be a little paprika in there too. Black pepper. That's all I can really taste. I don't know what else he adds to it, but boy, that is a very tasty blend of seasonings. And the sauce just makes it a wonderful accent. And I'm not just saying that, folks. If you want it, don't even take my word for it. Take yourself on over to the spicyrooster.com and find out for yourself just how wonderful this dish really can turn out to be. And if you think I'm lying, I dare anybody and challenge anybody to go out there and tell me I'm wrong. But that is some really good sauce. I got a nice good bunch of spice there too. It kind of like kind of prick me in the back of the throat, which is what good spice should do. It's never overwhelming though, it's not uncomfortable. I've had spicy food where it was just unbearable to have to sit through it. It was just unbearable, it was uncomfortable. It was just not really a fun way to enjoy food. Some people like it that spicy, but other people have their taste. This is comfortably spicy. I think we've coined a new way of describing this sauce, comfortably spicy. Because it's not overwhelming, it's a soothing spice that hits you all throughout the duration of the meal. So what have we learned from this so far, folks? We've learned that there is such a thing as being spicy, yet very comfortable, very soothing. And Randy knows how to make soothing spice come alive. So, from all of us here at Pawpets, take a visit to thespicyrooster.com and see for yourself just how wonderful your dish will turn out. And compare them to your other products too, like your seasoning salts, your barbecue sauces, your hot sauces, your steak sauce, anything that you happen to order. Compare it to your original name brand preferences. And I guarantee you, you'll be ordering from this guy a lot more often. This is SonicBlu Darkfold for Cooking with SonicBlu.
Trying to use those as maracas?
That's how they were invented. You see, the person who invented maracas lived down in Mexico where you couldn't afford decent musical instruments, and so what ended up happening was they could only afford a couple of boxes of macaroni and cheese at the time. And so they started shaking the boxes to the tune of their favorite music, and then the maracas were born. They decided to decorate it, make it look more festive, make it look more South American, and then the maracas were born. And then the person who invented the maracas didn't have to live on macaroni and cheese anymore. He was a rich millionaire. Look it up, you'll find the story. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, you just telling one of your nice
One of my
little
Whoppers.
One of your Whoppers.
Oh man, that sounds good right about now.
Yeah, but we're eating this stuff.
We are eating decent food. We're not going to Burger King. We're not getting Whoppers. We are eating the truly awesome macaroni and cheese dinner.
Okay, wait.
The truly awesome macaroni and cheese dinner. I don't know what it is about this that makes it truly awesome, but doesn't this look like every other macaroni and cheese dish that you've ever seen?
Yeah.
What is so truly awesome about that? It's not 3 cheese, it's not 4 cheese, it's not pizza flavored, it's not mozzarella flavored, it's not white cheddar, it's just mac and cheese. How awesome can you make mac and cheese? It's mac and cheese. It's not supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to keep you alive when you're out of money. That's what it's supposed to be there for, but it's also a good staple if you want to step away from stuff like mashed potatoes or ramen or something like that. And you can add hot dogs to this too. That's really good too. Matter of fact, should we add hot dogs to this? I got a package of them right in here.
Actually, the fun thing is if we had like turkey sausage, we could have used some of that in there, and that's usually good
that
too.
That would be good too. Or taco meat. Add taco meat in there. Or a can of chili and make yourself some chili mac. There are many different varieties you can do with macaroni and cheese to make it truly awesome. But since we don't have chili, and I really don't have any taco meat prepared, we're just going to use traditional, good old 100% American meat byproducts, aka hot dogs.
That's funny on what you find in a hot dog. Especially when you find out on what's in one.
How they're prepared, and then trust me, you wouldn't want to eat hot dogs anymore, but I still eat them. Yeah.
They still taste good even though.
Okay, so I dip that for about 20 seconds. And the walls come tumbling down. Okay. This is what happens when you don't crush your cans on a regular basis, and most of these are Minute Maid cans. Somebody doesn't crush their cans, well that's okay. That means that whenever I turn it in and I do the crushing, that means I keep the money because I do the work in crushing them.
And there's Baz going up and down over there.
Down, yeah. Bazzy loves helping out Daddy in the kitchen. What soundtrack is that? I'll be back. It's Terminator 2. Judgment Day.